We've got another minute. Let's see.
Another minute and 40 seconds.
Peter.
Oh, that's right, that's
Hello, Peter.
that's Wagner.
Hey, Peter. I have the.
Hey, guys.
Isaac, hi,
the
Isaac.
warrant.
Hey,
Yes. Do you think you're all set on our updated budget now? We probably gotta do a little bit more tweaking.
More tweaking.
Well, I'm just thinking what their updated budget probably only showed what we are paying to them under our current contract. That preliminary engineering number, the 11,000, that was actually a separate contract before this. And of course, that permit fee, we paid out of our own money. We didn't pay to Aldrich and Elliott. So I think that updated budget just showed their cost and the estimated construction costs. So,
Gotcha.
but I'll confirm that with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's helpful, Andy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Isaac.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
You can. We're good. How are you?
6 o'clock.
We don't have
Okay.
heat in the building, so we're,
I was gonna say, are you warm enough?
Yeah.
I was wondering that too.
it's about 50 degrees in here, so.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you hear
that's too
teeth
bad.
chattering,
Yeah.
you'll know why.
I'd rather hear teeth chattering than pipes breaking.
Yeah.
I remember an
Okay.
educational study that was done in the 80s where they said school kids learned at a cooler temperature, so they started turning all the temperature down in all the schools so we wouldn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
brutal.
we should have a good meeting tonight then.
All right. So, I'm in, temporary, chair. I'm gonna call the meeting of the North Hero Water Board agenda, December 9th, 2024 to order. And, we've got
Yeah,
enough people. We have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
So let's,
Although Jim isn't,
I don't
yeah,
see
Jim's
Jim.
not here.
no,
but we do
any
have a quorum.
adjustments to the agenda?
Nope.
Okay, we've all seen the minutes. They're in your packet and you've been
Yeah.
emailed them.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of November 11th.
A second. A motion and a second. Further discussion of the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Approval of the warrant. We'll take that, Frank.
Yep. Yep. Oh. Need this back? Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to propose approval of 2 warrants, Fund 21 for 42,386.77, and Fund 22 for 1,201.93.
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion of the warrant or the warrants? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the warrants for signature, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very well. You wanna hand those around, you can sign this, you're talking, Funds 21 and 22 budget status, I'm gonna let you take, Frank.
Yeah, those are. Just
Just if there's
get
questions
this,
or.
yeah, it's not an
there's
action
something-
item. so,
Yep.
yeah.
If there's an issue or something you don't understand or.
Yeah, I haven't seen any problems. I reviewed it, so if anybody else has any discussion points, we can talk about it, but.
Nope. That's good enough for the overview. We are
Yep.
going to sign off on that tonight.
Oh, the final budget later on,
Yeah,
the fiscal 25.
okay, so there's nothing other than what we can see in front of us. All right. So that's good. Recognition of visitors.
We have no visitors.
We have no visitors.
Other
That's-
than-
We count Peter and Isaac, but they're part of the meeting, so
Yeah.
they're not visitors.
They happen to be next.
And they're next, so. Peter and Isaac, take it away.
Okay, I would not,
So yeah, Larry requested that they be here for this meeting.
yeah.
And he's not.
And he's not.
Right.
And so I'm
So-
not sure exactly what he wanted of us at the meeting. That was my only hesitation. I'm happy to talk about whatever you want me to talk about. I mean, I did share with the board just a brief memo similar to the previous meeting. For the month of October and November, you had expenses totaling 84,6762. So your total project expenses to date are now 158,677 and 73 cents. The other thing I had via email was that Larry had some questions again about how to fully utilize the NBRC award of $1 million. I have reread all of the associated grant agreement documents and the notice to proceed for NBRC. And as I shared briefly in my memo to you, the agreement explicitly states that the water board shall spend a minimum of $3,037,475 or more in order to fully utilize the $1 million award for the total project. That is not, because when you did that application, you had not decided to do it in 2 phases. That came after that application, which obviously, as we've discussed at previous meetings, has caused some subsequent confusion since then.
Yeah.
Further explained in one of the grant agreement documents is that the water board will spend up to $1.8 million in municipal borrowing via bond, 807,495 via CRRP, and a minimum of $429,980 from the North Hero Water Reserve Fund. That's not through a bond. That's not through anything else. That's through your reserve fund. So as long as you meet or exceed that amount, you satisfy the match requirements to utilize the full $1 million. Anything less than that, the $1 million may be prorated.
So I have a question, Peter. As far as the 1.8 million, of course, we got a bond vote approved for 1.8 million, but we're planning on only borrowing, what is it, 940,000?
940,000, yeah.
And not borrowing any more than that. You know, one thing that happened in between the northern borders where we are now is we got the $500,000 from USDA. So is that going to have an impact? Are we going to have to update our budget as far as NBRC goes because of that? Because we're not, the bottom line is we're not planning to bond $1.8 million at this point.
Yep, I understand. So Isaac's got his hand up.
I'm raising my hand.
I'll let him respond, and then what he doesn't answer, I will respond to your question.
Hey, I'm gonna respond, Peter, from a strategic perspective and not so much from an accounting perspective.
Sure.
Strategically, I mean, pretty soon you're going, like tomorrow, right? You're gonna have some really hard numbers.
It's the bid got postponed.
Oh,
So
okay.
Next Monday.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but the point is, you're making a lot of progress. You got some really hard numbers coming in. You will be under construction at a certain point in time
Mhm.
soon. And I think if you put a few of those milestones behind you, you get them done. I think you're going to be at a better frame to call up NBRC and say, hey, listen, our projects, I mean, the fact of the matter is your projects got more expensive. So matching shouldn't be a problem. We just want to supplant this with that and, call this that. And I think they're going to be okay with it, but I would caution you not to approach them until you have some milestones under your belt and you're ready to go, Does that
Understood.
sound okay to you, Peter?
Yes.
Yeah, that completely ties with what I was going to say. The only thing that I would just add to that is, once you've spent some additional funds on the construction work, as well as basically it's just going to be shifting funds from one expenditure location to another. And so, we already have the documents now that Andy signed them, a week and a half ago with USDA. So we already we know you have that money. So whether that balance between, because the 940,000 plus 500,000, that's going to give you slightly less than 1.8 million. So it will, as long as you can demonstrate some other location where you're making up that balance to meet that 1.8 million, it doesn't matter. But like Isaac said, your expenses are already gone up, so you're going to spend it regardless of whether you want to or not.
Right.
Okay, and then just one other question or one other point. So in order to qualify for the entire $1 million NBRC grant, let's assume end of the day, phase one comes in at $2 million, round numbers. That means phase two would need to, that total project cost will need to be $2 million roughly to add up to the total 4 million in order to, for us to get the entire 1 million.
No,
NBRC.
So to your advantage, one of the things about NBRC is that it is based off of the budget that was submitted with the application. It's not based off of actual costs when for example, when you get your bids next week or whatever it may be. So, for example, if this phase costs $2 million, well then phase two, you just have to find, or not find, you have to spend $1 million from other sources that are non-NBRC to fully utilize that additional. So yes, one way of looking at it is yes, the whole entire project will need to cost 4 million plus. Yes.
Okay.
But that 4 million plus includes the 1 million from NBRC.
Well, the reason I brought that up, I think there was a comment made at our last meeting. Let's try to keep phase two down to 1.5 million. And the problem with that is we would not get the full 1 million.
Exactly.
Well, we were trying to keep it down to 1.5 million for planning purposes.
Yeah.
In full recognition that we were going to have to spend more money.
Okay.
And just to, what Larry and I had discussed in prepping for the meeting was that we just want to make it clear that we're going to try to spend everything else except the northern borders on phase one.
Yeah.
And then when we get to phase two, which we'll be developing, we'll be talking about later tonight, we have the option of spending as much more of that as we want, because we can just keep adding on to the end. We're doing the most critical area, whereas we're all hoping that we're going to do more than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that should take care of that.
Okay, that makes sense then.
That sounds like a good strategy. And I would
Yeah.
say, I think some of it will become clear when we get our first really big bill from your contractor. And then
Yeah.
we're gonna look at that detail sheet and that flow of funds sheet that Peter manages for us. And we're gonna decide, with evidence-based decisions about which source we're gonna draw from this really big invoice. So
Right.
and each month when we get these big invoices, we're gonna draw kind of from different sources. So none of them really want to be all in first. They want to be somewhat some degree of parity. So we just need to do that, and then it really it's gonna start to become very clear to everybody and very open book we do that.
Sure.
So
Yeah, Mike Tyson has something to say about plans.
I mean, the only thing that I really have any mild concern about is your CRRP funding, because that's the one, the CRRP is the one that sunsets the first before anything else.
And there's no extension possibility they've been very clear about that. So.
They have been very clear for the past 3 years. There is no extension going to happen on that whatsoever. Anything that is not spent is going back to the federal government. So, and the thing with that is your largest portion per those agreement documents is for construction of phase two. That's nearly half of your total CRRP funds is construction. So the only point why I'm bringing this up is now that we were kind of hitting this milestone on phase one, coming in the new year, once construction starts on phase one, need to make sure the water board is on Wayne to get hopping on the design documents for phase two, yes, that will get reimbursed, but that's like $45,000 that's gonna be reimbursed through that. That big chunk, the 360 some thousand for construction of phase two is what we need to kind of keep our eye on, so you guys don't lose that.
And if we, I think the same thing applies to CRRP. If we get into construction and we get some things, some milestones behind us, we go back and talk with them. If we need to, if, you know, we can go back and say, listen, we're not gonna quite make the finish line, but we really want to use all your money. I think they'll be open to changing the agreement, but we need to, I think, have a few things under our belt before we do that. The other thing we talked about, CRRP is a little bit unique in the sense that they pay 20% of any invoice. Really doesn't matter what it is. I mean, they have like mostly construction, some soft costs, but they pay 20% for your invoices. So because your project's gotten more expensive, you have the opportunity to spend the CRRP a little faster, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, so, you know, we could probably back into it and put together a timeline and to try to see where, you know, how fast we can get it spent. And that might be the document, the timeline that we share with CRRP to say, ooh, we're not going to make it to the finish line here. Can you help us out?
Right.
But we're not quite ready to do that yet. I think we need just a little bit more progress.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed. Okay.
So the bids again, the week from tomorrow is when the bids are gonna be due. So we'll have a much firmer handle on the cost for phase one.
Yeah.
And so, Peter, you can build that into your pro forma. And
Yep.
we will not have a detailed schedule of values next week. We'll just have the total cost. The
Yeah,
schedule of values will probably come 30 days later. I mean, that's,
Right.
the contractor is obligated to give us that at the pre-construction meeting, so I'm guessing it'll be, but long as we have the total in there, I think that's important piece for now.
yeah, it's just a key step.
I had a question, Peter and I had this question earlier when we spoke on the phone. That document, that cost document from Wayne that's circulating.
Yeah.
In his construction cost. So what are these bids that we're opening next week? Are they just for
They're-
the tank or are they also for the site work necessary to install the tank and everything
Yeah,
else?
it's the entire tank package, site work, electrical, mechanical, everything, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if you looked at a schedule of values, you're gonna assume a good portion of those costs is actually gonna be the physical tank? Is that what it
The
sounds
tank,
like?
well, it's, you know, I'm guessing that's probably gonna be half of it at least.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we
Okay.
have a pretty significant foundation, we have some utilities to run, we have a separate building,
Yeah.
I'm just guessing right now.
Yeah, we've got control communications, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to understand that. So that this is gonna be a really good, really
Yeah.
good. This is gonna be a really good milestone for us.
Yeah, it'll be a
having
hard
this in
meeting.
hand, so.
So are you guys doing, just a quick question, are you guys doing a special bid opening meeting for that, or are you doing
Yeah.
private bid opening?
No, it's, it's electronic, the bids will be emailed, they're going to the engineer and the state. They'll do, the bid opening via a Teams meeting at 1:00, next Monday.
Do you mind if I get a link to that meeting so I could join you
Not
guys?
at all, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Lisa will send it to you.
Okay, great, because if I don't have something conflicting, I'd like to be there.
Yeah, well, this is new for us too, so,
Okay.
we're interested to see how it goes.
Yeah,
And you're talking about a staff engineer from the DW SRF program, is when you say the state? Is
No,
that-
it's, Doug Castle, I think is the guy from the state. He's the one that reviewed our permit for construction application. And there may be other people from the state too, but
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
so we're all looking forward to that.
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, anything else for?
Well, let me just, so, Peter and Lisa and I met a couple of weeks ago and we had given, the updated budget from Aldrich and Elliott, which, you know, no surprise, the phase one was about $2 million rather than the 1.8, so. As that, we'll refine it, after we get the bids. And I was explaining to Peter, and I'll get with Aldrich and Elliott to confirm that updated budget that they gave us did not reflect the money we had spent on
Yeah.
preliminary engineering. That was under a separate contract. It was about $11,000. I think it only reflects the money going either directly to Aldrich and Elliott under our current contract and the construction. So
Yeah.
some of these other monies that we've either spent previously or not directly to Aldrich and Elliott were not included in that, but I will
Yeah.
confirm that.
Yeah, and I
So-
think, you know, my experience and my attitude is that the pro forma development document, especially once we get bids back, the
Yeah,
pro forma development document should be your master document anyway.
Yeah.
And that's where everything else, everything should rely on that.
Yeah.
And it's, and, you know, anything else is derivative. Everything else can be there. You might pull some data out of the performer to use it for this or use it for that, but, so anyway, yeah, I could see that there were some, soft costs missing. From
Yeah,
that,
okay,
from the
good.
budget,
All right.
yeah, so.
all right. I don't have anything else.
I guess we can let you guys get on with your evening then. Yeah, that's
I smell pizza cooking in the other room,
There you
so I'm
go.
gonna take you up on that, so.
Welcome to stay if you want, but thank you very much.
All right, yeah, guys, thanks for showing up.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thanks,
Night.
everyone.
Good
We'll talk
night.
to you soon. Good night.
SOS report. Yeah. Kevin has said that, we've looked at the, DBPs and we were hoping if that was gonna, the second flushing might be helped, but it turns out a small advantage gained with it has not lasted.
Right,
So the question is whether or not it's worth continuing with the flushing 2 times a year. However, to get the construction permit, one of the conditions that Larry agreed to at that meeting was that we would flush twice a year.
Yeah.
So I think we should keep, my opinion
Mhm.
is that we should continue with the planning to flush 2 times a year. At least until phase 1 is complete.
Yep.
And it's online, and then we'll see what our DBPs start doing after that.
Mhm.
Anybody else
No,
have?
that
comment on that?
that sounds fine to me.
Okay,
I don't know that we need to vote on it, but.
we don't.
Okay,
We're just, because it's already
Yep.
happening,
Yep.
and I'd say let's keep doing
Yep.
that for
Okay.
now.
all right.
Water credit supervisor report.
Yes, so we had shut-offs last week. We had one person enter a payment plan. We have one person that would have been shut off, but they're a seasonal customer and were shut off in October. So we will not be turning on their water in the spring until they pay. So
Okay.
they've gone through all the process. They've got a notice on their door saying it's shut off. So I'm guessing they're gone for the winter, but
Yeah.
so that's where we are.
Yes.
Everybody else is paid up.
650 whatever customers, only have 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's
Yeah,
not bad.
so-
Yeah, that's really good.
That's not bad.
Yep.
Well, thanks for keeping an eye on that.
So there was a question last meeting about the statutory limitations for adding fees. Larry was questioning whether we could
Yeah.
charge more. And,
Yeah.
and you know what? There were a few documents that I added after I printed this on Friday, and so I don't think they're in here. But, is it in here? Yeah, it's online,
Okay.
and I think I just printed them for you. It's basically what's on the pink letter. So we're doing the max. We have the
Right.
collection, and we're doing the 1%, and then after 3 months, we can collect 1.5%, and that's per statute. That's the most we can do. So we're doing the max we can do
Great.
according to statute.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
Good.
good. Let's move on to discussion action items, winter work projects. Everything is ongoing. We all get weekly update from Kevin, so he's been pretty busy. In addition to that, he's been working quite a bit on trying to get the ball rolling on phase 2.
Mhm.
So we've been taking most of his spare time.
Yeah, what spare time?
Yeah. Changes to procurement policy to accept on, is there any update on that?
No, other than the change in the bid date itself in a week from today, and just encourage anybody that's available to
Yep.
see how it goes.
Yeah, the select board's working on budgets and ethics, changes to the ethics commission policies. That is effective January 1st, and then they'll look at the
Okay, great.
the purchasing policy.
Yep.
Yep. And timeline discussion on the tank project, other than the bid being delayed by a week,
Yep.
nothing has changed on that.
No, so, I'm guessing for between, receiving the bids and then actually executing a contract, issuing a notice to proceed is gonna be, I don't know, 30 days, maybe, just a guess. And then the contractor will have, 11 months to substantial completion, 12 months to final completion. So, you know, end of next year.
Okay. Oh,
And then
building,
permit, that's complete. We have the building permit. Jim submitted it to our zoning administrator, and then it turned out they had the wrong address on the building permit, so she changed it, and I came in and initialed the change, so we're all set on the building permit.
and that's changed to December 17th. Engineering, building the construction loan progress update. There's no progress on that.
No, we have
No,
not heard anything.
No,
I
and
think
last we
somebody
knew
said
it was,
gonna be January.
yeah, we were hoping,
Yeah,
well, first quarter of next year, I think,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So we'll keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Due now December 17th.
16th.
Project bids,
Number 16
16th.
at 1 o'clock, right?
16th.
Yeah.
Okay.
16th. Okay. I don't know
Yep,
why I added
I've got that on the calendar, and I'll send an email out to everybody on Sunday, reminding everybody.
Good. Thank you.
Mhm.
That's gonna be a Teams link, right?
I think
Yes.
it's a Teams link.
Yeah, it is Teams on my computer.
Is he coming here, or are we all just? I mean,
Uh,
we can do it from here if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think he's planning to come here.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure, but in any event, you can, wherever you are, you can, join in. So.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, as long as I'm here, I can join in. I don't have Teams with my other stations.
Let me, hang on just a second. Let me, see what it says in here. Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah, I guess I don't have a good answer on that, but
Someone will send us a link.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Is it out there already?
yeah,
Yeah.
Jason sent us a revised one, I think this morning. It might have
With the
been
link,
Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, with the link.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah, I'll send that out to everybody
Yeah.
on Sunday.
okay, then we have a, amendment, for, what, bid phase?
Yeah, and I can, I guess, give a quick summary of that. So and I think we need to look at the, that budget status is in here somewhere, Lisa, or not? The one you and I talked about today?
In the,
Is it in this packet? The updated, yeah, that one. So, we're looking at the, construction services. The original budget was $155,000. For everything they had to do because of the USDA requirements.
Right.
The on-site engineering effort becomes a lot greater. They have to have somebody on site every time any kind of construction's going on.
Yep.
So the bottom line is that estimate has gone from 155,000 to 177,800. So this amendment to our original agreement is to cover that difference.
Yep.
And I know it's fully legitimate. And again, these are not to exceed numbers. We'll pay based on the hours.
Right.
That they actually spend. So,
Okay. So.
having said all that, I would make a motion that we approve, that amendment to Aldrich and Elliott.
Second,
You, we gonna second that, Frank? Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the amendment to the contract with, Aldrich and Elliott. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor of approving this amendment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And, thank you.
Does
So,
that go to the select board or no?
what's that?
Does that have to go to the select board? These are the.
Yes, it does. It
Documents that are
does.
missing from it.
Yeah, okay. Yes, it does
Um,
need to go to the select board.
Okay, so I'll put that, get that on the select board agenda
Yep.
for Monday.
Okay, so we have done that, and who is our signatory? Are you the signatory on this, or is the?
Well, it's a,
Is there a place for you and the select board?
that it right there? You
I
got
think
it.
this is it right here, and it just says by.
Yeah, no, I think it's just the select board.
Okay,
Okay, so how do we get that to the select board?
they meet next Monday night. I will get it on the agenda and I will get that taken care of.
And duly noted that we've approved that.
Okay.
Um,
Just says owner, so that would be.
Yeah.
Um,
this is, which one is this?
who's the agency?
DEC certification page. Oh, that's part of that pen. Okay, let's move on to, and D here, phase two water line replacement. Timeline on that's still a little vague.
Yep.
But Lisa is in your package. I think it's the last item, or next to last item. Next to last item in your packet is the email from Aldrich and Elliott. Which is, you guys all have that? No. It's, headed, it's an outlook, for Route 2 water line replacement.
It,
Yep, got it.
Okay. You got it, Frank?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's right near the
it was
end.
at the end, it came in today.
Yeah.
So.
Not the one she just gave you. It should be in that packet next to the third to last page.
I haven't seen this before tonight.
Thinking this page is the new contract.
I don't think it's that one.
Not have one. Right now.
Ah, there it is. Basically, this is in response to my yelling yet again. I must say Wayne is very responsive and he's been right on top of this.
Yep.
He basically has three, alternatives that he's been considering. The first being, to construct on top.
Mhm.
And as we've discussed in the past, I'll keep talking while you guys read if you haven't already read this. The problem with that is maintaining depth and and so forth, but the real problem with it would be to get approval to do it from the state, because it's not part of the water supply rule. We'd be acting outside of that. We'd need a waiver. I think that would take a long time to get.
Yep.
So I don't know about you guys, but that certainly is not my first choice,
No.
to use, Blue Brute or PVC on top. Also, knowing the condition of the trenches, because we've dug them up so many times, I don't think it's gonna lend itself well to that. There'll be a
Yep.
lot of hauling and material for backfill and stuff like that.
Yep. Okay.
He put as an alternative, temporary water. That's not really an alternative, because no matter how we do this, we're gonna need temporary water. And, either way, we're gonna wind up digging up each service connection before we start.
Mhm.
Because everything would have to be removed and set up temporarily. I did some work on that today, looking at schedules from previous jobs done by the premier contractor, which is out of Maine. That has been doing most of the pipe bursting technology stuff. It's called the Ted Berry Company. And they just did a big job on sewer in Montpelier, and they came in well under budget, and way under time with it. But anyway, looking at some of their comparative things for a mile of it, it looks like about $60,000 would be the cost of the temporary fittings that we would have to install for each one of the services we provide.
Mhm.
And whether they're year-round or seasonal, no matter what our schedule, we're gonna have to hook them all up. So I think that's gonna turn into an integral part of this budget real quickly.
Yep.
Again, we haven't run any numbers on it yet.
Yep.
But I do know that the $1.5 million that we've given them is more than likely going to be exceeded.
Yeah.
And whether it's gonna be exceeded by cost of construction or it's gonna be exceeded by extension of replacement remains to be seen, but both Wayne and I think that we're gonna be able to do more of it than we had thought.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
So the 1.5 million that your target was, is that just construction or is that the whole project cost, including engineering?
That was the whole
Okay.
project cost, but again, it's the Mike Tyson analogy.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that plan will go up in smoke in the next few weeks.
Okay,
I'm thinking it's gonna be more like 1.8. From just, hand scratches on the back of
yeah.
cocktail napkins at my computer. I think it's gonna be closer to 1.8.
Well, I think for the sake of the pro forma that Wagner is working on, that we ought to still be looking at the entire 2 million, or whatever the delta is between, once we get bids on phase one and the total we have to spend. That's the number we should be working with.
I think we all have it right there.
Yeah, so.
That we're looking at.
And then, I like the idea when we actually do go out for bids, you could have a base bid of X number of feet and then add per foot or add another section or whatever, and you could have 2 or 3.
Well, it would
alternates.
still be in sections.
Yeah.
Because they do 500
Right.
sections.
So, yeah, then we could kind of pick and choose.
Yep.
Depending on how the bids came in and what our budget was, so,
Yep.
yeah, it makes sense to me.
And the way Kevin helped set it up, it looks really good for doing it that way. Because it would all be tailed onto the south end.
Yep,
And that whole section is only one connection.
wow, nice,
That would
Yep.
involve 2 more sections.
yeah,
So
and I like the idea.
Couple $100,000 extra, we could get that whole stretch
Yeah.
of Birdland
Oh,
down
that'd
to
be
the corner
perfect.
done with all in one connection. Yeah,
And I like the idea that we're doing a lot less excavation next to Route 2 by going this way.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's, got a lot of positives.
which brings us to point 3.
Yep.
Pipe bursting.
Yep.
And just for everybody's knowledge that we had a brief discussion on before the meeting here. Pipe bursting technology consists of pulling an expanding plug basically through an existing pipe, which ruptures the pipe and creates a slightly larger opening. And as it pulls through the pipe, it pulls behind it new replacement piping, which is only available in HDPE, which works out fine.
That's great.
HDPE would be my first choice for this
Absolutely,
anyway.
that'd be even better than PVC.
I
but
think
it's-
so.
But it's more expensive, so, yeah.
It is more expensive.
Yeah.
So I guess, and I'm wondering if he's actually asking us something here. And I just told him we would discuss at the meeting and try to give him direction from this meeting moving forward. And I guess what I'm asking for is I'm entertaining a motion to select one of these approaches
Yep.
to concentrate on.
Yep. Well, I'll make that motion that we focus on the pipe bursting alternate from this point forward, and that's my motion.
Although it's actually gonna be pipe splitting in our case.
Well, okay,
But it still falls under.
Yep.
Pipe bursting. So I have a motion to contact Wayne and, tell him to move forward with the pipe bursting option.
I'll
Do I have a
second that.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion on methodology and approach to this?
other than, yeah, we're gonna want a, engineering proposal ASAP, and I think once he knows this, then he can move forward pretty quickly with the, proposal.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, Yep, okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for that. Any further discussion? All in favor of, going back to Aldrich and Elliott with, option 3 here, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I will get a hold of Wayne. And tell him to get a proposal out to us.
Yep.
Under that criteria, so that we can move forward.
Great.
And that's all that's relevant in, item D, because, there is no engineering contract yet.
Yeah, yeah,
But that will be forthcoming.
Yep.
Or forthcoming. Discussion of disbursements and requirements for grant funding. We kind of just did that.
yeah, I don't,
I mean, we got the approval letter from the USDA.
yep.
That's new.
Well,
Yep.
and we got the, state construction or permit to construction. And that went to USDA, and that was the last, I confirmed that with Sean this morning when I talked to him. That was the last item that he had requested. He had a list of 7 or 8 things he wanted. That was the last thing, so.
And you got that
Yeah,
electronic.
so he's got everything he needs for right now, so.
Great.
So the next step will be when we get a better handle on the budget, we'll wanna go back to them and ask to, update some of the line items, but.
Yep.
That's a little ways away yet.
Good.
And it happened to revolver, the 940. So that's, everything's done in. We had some follow-up paperwork we had to submit or something, is that right?
I know, I think
No, yeah, that's.
we've
all.
submitted everything we need to. We're just in the
They're
holding
waiting
pattern
for the
now.
state.
And again, it's, at best, they're saying first quarter of, next year.
Okay. And we did CRP grant.
Reimbursement yet. I talked to Peter today and they don't like anything under 25,000 and we haven't hit that mark again, so.
Yeah.
We'll do
Fine.
something after the first of the year. We'll start getting some more.
Pending accumulated further expense. Okay, let's move on to F for Frank. Financial.
Look at that. That's right.
Yeah,
And we have one maturing today.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it rolled?
What?
Did you get rolled?
I told them I would let them know tomorrow morning.
So starting out with the CD investments, we have, one that matured today, looking to roll that tomorrow for another month. And there are 2 more that are maturing this month in a couple weeks, another week. Make a motion that we continue to roll for 1-month periods on the next 3. That are maturing today's the 18th and the 19th.
I'll second.
Sounds just what we planning to do. Any further discussion on that? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great, sounds like a good idea.
To the budget.
And to the budget.
So I think this is ready, but based on what we were talking about earlier today, we're having to adjust the numbers. For the other piece that Randy was talking about, with the Aldrin Elliott increase.
That's not on the. operating
Yeah, that
budget.
wouldn't, yeah, that's
So it's gonna be for the reserve, so that's not gonna affect the operating, right?
right.
Okay, is there any open questions on the numbers as they stand today?
Nope. I didn't have any.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve the 25-26 budget
I'll
as
second.
presented.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Further discussion on the proposed 25-26 budget? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do we have a hard copy? that we can- Silly question, of course we do.
You guys sign it, I'll get it
We're
to the
gonna
other
need all
two.
signatures on that. How are you gonna get Larry and?
Yeah,
Sheila?
oh, you guys sign it, I'll scan it in and I'll send it to the other two and they can sign it electronically.
Great.
And it will go in the town report.
And that
Just
town
back.
report together and keep bits and pieces. This is a great pen that Corinne gave me a couple months ago. I love having a pen that works.
Is it an official North Hero pen?
No, it's one that somebody left on her desk.
Oh, okay.
You have to pay for the official ones.
Right.
Good work on that.
Yeah.
Budget.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
You want to say next to?
Frank did it. Frank gets credit.
You know, it's always a painful process. Made it seem as though it was rather painless, for which we're all quite grateful.
Yep.
Okay, SharePoint folder.
So Corinne has been working on that and spent a couple hours on it last week and I think she got everybody access.
Oh,
Did-
good.
So, then my fault, I should have asked her about that. Did you get new links or anything? You didn't get new?
I
links?
haven't got new links,
Okay, yeah, I'll follow up.
but
with her.
is it the same link that we had
It
before?
should have, yeah. Were you in
I think I
before?
I think I have that in my favorites, but I'll,
Follow up with her. in the-
yeah, maybe, yeah, but
Yeah.
send a new link just
Send
to
them
make
the-
sure. Yeah.
Send the new link.
Okay.
She was working on that.
Yep.
so.
Okay. Kudos for working on that. Employee holiday recognition. Every year we try to do something for our hardworking partners in this, who are actually our employees. And in the past, we have, given gift cards.
Mhm.
To a local store. And, it looks to me as though we have Lisa, Corinne, and Kevin to be very, very grateful to everything they've done, because without them, we can't do any of this.
Mhm.
And much as I would like to give them all a brand new truck, because they certainly owed it, I would, suggest for discussion purposes that we, give each of those three people $100 gift certificate to, one of our local stores. I think the only people that do it might be Harvard.
Harborside?
You think so?
Yep.
Okay, let's, to Harvard.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Does anybody want to make a motion to that effect?
Well, let's,
Or let's discuss it. We also have a town employee we might want to consider.
well, I was wondering, Austin,
We have Austin, you usually do Austin, I think you do Joe too. And Tracy for Public Works. So
and I
Austin
would
is
say
new this
maybe
year.
$50 to each of those three.
Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I don't know what the history was with.
We generally do about half.
Austin is Kevin's assistant. I think he's actually kind of going through training.
He's a
right?
trainee.
But he's been very helpful.
Yeah, he's a licensed, I believe, class 3 now. and he's
yeah.
Going for 4.
Tracy is our public works guy. He's been very helpful. And then who was the other one? Oh, Joe. He's actually he's technically, he's
Backup.
Kevin's assistant.
Yeah.
Joe.
Oh, Joe Danis, yeah.
Yeah, he actually works oddly enough for Grand Isle,
Yeah.
but also for SOS, and he's here whenever we need him.
Yeah.
And he's,
when
Right,
And I
Kevin's on
think
vacation.
Kevin actually covers for him sometimes in Grand
They
Isle.
go back and
Yeah,
forth.
so, yeah. So that, yeah. So,
so.
yeah.
Can we do it all in one proposal
I-
where we're gonna do 100 for the top 3 and 50 for the bottom 3?
yes. I will make that motion, as we just discussed.
We have the second,
Second,
further discussion. Other than who's gonna do this?
I'll take care of it.
Oh, you're gonna go all the way up to the market and get it? Thank you.
I will do
Thank
that.
you. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Preferred contractors, agreement, we got a very rapid response from Cutting Edge, didn't
Yep.
we? And it looked good.
Yes.
Everything was in order.
Everything was in order. We got their insurance. We got, yeah, they were very quickly to respond.
That's a
And I got a chance to meet, he was at the pre-bid meeting, so I got a chance
Oh,
to
really?
chat,
Oh, was
chat
he?
with him a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure one of the general contractors is asking him for pricing on maybe installing the utilities or whatever, but
That would be good.
yeah, yeah, so.
I'd like to see him involved. I've spent 50 years in the construction business and he's right there.
Yep.
He's right there. So that's really great. Okay, let's move on to item 10, correspondence.
Well, let's, do
So-
we have to have a motion
Oh,
on
we
that,
do.
right? Yeah,
And
to add him to the,
somebody needs to sign it. Do you want me to send it to,
yeah,
think Larry
Larry
usually
should probably
signs it.
sign it, yeah.
okay,
But
All right.
I'll make a motion that we approve, Cutting Edge as one of our preferred contractors.
I'll second
Okay. Further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor of adding Cutting Edge to our preferred contractor list, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 10. Correspondence, 163 Holiday Home.
so did y'all see the email from Scott Valley about asking he wanted to extend water service, seasonal water service to like today, tomorrow, December 10th or something.
Yeah.
So I very kindly told him that probably was not an option. He'd have to go in front of the board who had just met and wouldn't meet till tonight, and that his option was to change to an annual service, which is what he did.
Okay,
Right, yeah, which is what he should do.
right, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Perfect, so it's all by the book, the way we
All by
do
the
it.
book, and, yep,
Good,
and he had water till tomorrow.
great.
Future agenda items, anybody think of things that we haven't already said we're gonna move ahead? And I'm looking at Lisa for this.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything new to
No.
add. It's all the,
I'm hoping that, on that, next agenda, that we're gonna have a proposal from Wayne. So
That
that,
would be great for phase two.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'd really like to see that.
I would too. Yeah,
Get happening. That's another one of those milestones that we know we have a grip on it now.
Yeah.
We know where the next rung is. So I'll do everything I can to facilitate that. You never can tell with the holidays
Mhm.
and Wayne drifting off.
Yeah, I know.
But I know, as he told me, it might be his last hurrah first, but it's gonna be a loud one.
That's it. We'll be in good hands with Jason. I've
Yeah.
gotten to know him a little bit, so.
election stuff is coming up.
Who, oh yeah, who on the
So,
water?
yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, cause the email we got today was just elected offices.
Just elected, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure
yeah.
which of us is up for reappointment in March. Feels like I haven't been through it for a while.
Been appointed terms, let's see.
I think you and I were reappointed at the same time. Last year, I think. you-
It wasn't, I think it was, I thought it was 2 years. I
So
can't
Jim
remember.
was
and
Larry.
Andy are up, 2025.
Jim,
Jim
me
and
and Jim,
Andy.
okay. Are the terms all 3 years or
They're
they're,
all
yeah,
3 years,
okay,
and they
yeah.
stagger, yep,
So
so Frank,
Jim-
you're
so
gonna
Jim
get
and I,
next
yep.
year.
Yep.
Even
Yeah,
though
because
you,
you took only part of it.
so you finish Rob's term. Yeah, and then Brian and Larry are up in 2027.
all right,
Um,
so I should
that
consider
was-
whether I'm interested in continuing, and
Yes.
if I am, I
Well-
should submit a letter of interest.
Yeah, I don't really think you have a
Yeah.
choice.
I know where you live.
I don't think you have much of a choice.
Okay.
But yeah, that's coming up. I don't know if we usually do that in January or February. I think we
don't,
post. I think Larry likes it posted and
yeah,
you know, yeah.
Well, that'll definitely be on the agenda
That'll
for
be on
next
the
meeting. then,
January,
won't it?
yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't handle your campaign.
What?
Your signs are-
Well,
signs
this,
printed, all the printed?
all I need is, 3 votes from, no, 4 votes from, no, 3 votes from the select
Select
board.
board,
That's all
yeah.
I need.
Yeah.
All we need is your willingness to do it.
Well, there's that too. yeah.
We definitely need that.
Yeah, well, having gotten through our agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
that. All right.
Aye. Wow,
Thank you all very much for coming out this snowy evening.
yeah.
Thank you. Good job.